O'Neill and the special guest host, Attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question, our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome to Talking Law with Daryl O'Neill. I'm your host. I got my main man with me, Jerome.
What's going on, Daryl?
Man, another day in the neighborhood, man.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Hey, today I want to talk about, Jerome, I want to talk about, I'm going to call it pro se litigation. But what it really means is you representing yourself. So we want to talk about that today, Jerome.
Daryl, you know, one thing about it is access to the courts. Mm-hmm. It's fundamental that people have access to the courts because that's how we solve our problems. Mm-hmm. We don't do it out in the street. We don't do OK Corral and all that stuff. So we leave it to the judicial system to try to solve our issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that.
Okay. Well, let's give it our shout outs, Jerome. Shout out, I'm sorry, if you have Facebook Live, YouTube, Roku TV, Fire Stick, Apple TV, mm-hmm. or the SPP TV network app, when we put the number up, you can call. If you got any questions, we'll answer your questions. I don't care what we're talking about.
In real time.
In real time. So, but let's give our shout outs to California, shout outs to Little Rock, Arkansas, shout outs to West Memphis, Arkansas, shout outs to Memphis, Shelby County, shout out to Mississippi, shout out to the great state of Missouri, shout out to Jerome's family.
Hey, fam.
Shout out to my family, specifically my wife.
And you know, Daryl, that's exciting about West Memphis. West Memphis is fast moving, and everybody waiting for the Buc-ee's to come. In the meantime, it's growing like leaps and bounds, man. So I'm excited for our sister.
Yeah, they really have gone to the next level,
yes,
you know.
Yes.
So, pro se litigation, you know, in any class or any state or any case, you have a right to represent yourself.
That's right.
You know, and so if you believe, you know, that you can get it done, then the court will let you do it.
And you know, Daryl, we have a saying as attorneys, he who represents himself has a
fool for a client. Yeah.
And so, but that's not necessarily the case with a pro se person because the judges are a little more lenient.
They are,
yeah.
But they're not supposed to be.
They're not supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, the rules say that, and I always tell, I always ask the judge to admonish the pro se litigant that they need to abide by the same rules.
That's exactly right.
And when the judge does that, and the judge tells him, so look, you know, this guy's gonna come at you. You know, you got a piece of paper. You may not ever get that in the court.
That's right.
Because I'm not gonna. You are not gonna get it in.
And you know, we used to have one general session judge that made that very clear.
Oh man, Judge Donald.
Judge Donald would read the riot act to them.
Yeah, Judge Donald
I'm
would
gonna
go.
hold you to it. Now you got a right to represent yourself.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna hold you to
yeah.
every letter of the law.
Yeah.
And so you come up here with a bunch of paper trying to hand it to me, it ain't gonna happen.
You're right. Yeah. And again, you know, here's what happens. I mean, you believe. So there's two types of people.
Okay.
And when we get into pro se representation, and those people are people that can't find anyone else to represent them on a matter. That's number one. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's just unfortunate. Mm-hmm. But that by itself tells you a lot of stuff about your case. If you can't pay a lawyer to represent you, now, and I'm throwing that, you know, you can't find a lawyer. I'm talking about being able to pay. If you can't find a lawyer to represent you, that is because you're unwilling to pay that lawyer's fee. Because lawyers get paid by the hour, you know, lawyers that are decent are going to charge you a pretty penny per hour.
And there's a flat fee sometimes too. Sometimes, so it's not always hourly rate. But also too, the case, the merit of the case is suspect too, because if the case has merit, sometimes lawyers will try to figure out a way to handle it for you on a contingency basis. That's what I was trying to get to there.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, and here's the problem. Merit is different than contingency. Most of the time, a person that's going to represent you on a contingency fee case is going to be more of a personal injury,
That's
medical
right.
malpractice,
That's right.
or
Absolutely.
some workers' comp.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they know there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Absolutely.
But a breach of contract case,
Well, there's a possible.
substantial possibility.
Yeah, there's a pot of gold.
Yeah.
Because it could be a crap. It could
Yeah,
be a-
it's a bad case. I mean, you can have a bad case.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's what ends up happening, right?
Yes.
So that's one set of people.
Yeah.
And you got the second set of people that know everything and you can't tell them nothing.
Oh my goodness.
Those are the people that hire a lawyer, but then want to micromanage the lawyer.
Oh my goodness.
Well, any lawyer worth anything is not going to let you tell him how to represent you.
That's exactly right. In fact, if of the two, I would prefer to have the one who didn't want to pay than to have someone who's trying to direct the case with no idea of what on earth they're talking about, except for your friend Google.
Oh, yeah.
Google has got them all hyped up as if they know the law.
And they'll tell them, and that's the sad part. They'll actually tell them, I've had clients come in and tell me, well, I did my own research. I did my own research, and I said, okay, where we going with this?
Yeah.
Because Google, Google's got, AI has got lawyers in trouble.
Oh, without a doubt.
Got judges in trouble.
And prosecutors in trouble, because I saw where a prosecutor got in trouble. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah. They submitted a whole thing on
my
AI.
goodness. Yes.
Yeah.
And all of the, well, not all of the cases, but many of the cases were fictitious.
Yeah.
And so no sites,
Yeah.
nothing that were correct.
Right.
And it was at the appellate level too, wasn't it?
Well, that was another set of cases.
Okay, yeah.
This AI has really gone awry.
Oh yeah.
Look, let me just tell you, I've used it.
Yeah.
I've used it, and I'm gonna tell you, it's bad as a mug. It ain't, man, you can't beat it.
Right.
Oh my God, you can't beat it. But it ain't practicing law.
That's for real.
It'll spit out so much information in so short of time, depending on what type of AI program you have.
That's
now.
right.
The one I had ever used was one through a company called Clio. And Clio has something called Clio Works, and it's got AI legal research in it. And it's actually legal research. But man, that thing spit out stuff. Man, I gave it something, and
just like that, huh?
Spitting it out, man. A minute comes up with 50 pages worth of material.
And I think that's where we are, and that's where we ought to be, because it gives us sometimes, as human beings, we're limited sometimes in the time frame. We're limited in exploring some new things. So that cannot be what you rely on. You rely on the knowledge that we have. The $1 million education that we have is in our heads, but sometimes it takes AI will probe it and put it out there on Front Street for you.
Yeah, but see, here's the problem. AI can give you an entire case.
Sure.
But the problem is, how do you get it introduced? You got pictures. If you got pictures, and your pictures speak 1,000 words.
That's right.
But guess what? You got to be able to get it in the court. And you don't get a picture in the court and say, Your Honor, here's a picture I took. And, this tells the story. No. You got to authenticate that picture.
Well, you got to lay a foundation.
You got to lay a foundation,
That's
and
right.
you got to
And
authenticate.
then you got to authenticate it.
Yeah.
And then you got to, so it's not that easy, people. And as we said from the very opening of the program tonight, we're not trying to discourage you,
Right.
but we are trying to discourage you, because if you want the best outcome, you got one day in court. Why not use all of your gusto that one day that you have?
And that person that knows all the stuff, Jerome, and that becomes the other issue. The person that knows all the stuff, believes that they got this multi-million-dollar case. When a person tells me I got a slam dunk case, I tell them get out of my office.
I know that's right.
Because I don't do them.
There's no such thing
I don't do them.
as a
I don't
slam
do
dunk case because it has to still be developed. You have the makings. It's like a cake. You know, the cake is in the box, but you gotta put it together, and that's the same way we feel about the law.
Yeah, and it's like you said, Drummond, and that's the funny part. It is putting it together.
Yes.
I mean, you know, you get this whole laundry list that AI gave you of what's your case and how you need to do it. Then the first thing is going to happen is you're going to try to bring a picture in. You know, now I guess you could ask AI how to get a picture into evidence.
Yeah, I think you probably could.
And you could probably ask AI how to get lay a foundation to get a picture into evidence.
And I think you probably could tell it to tell me what kind of objections will I be faced with, and then what's my response.
Right.
You could absolutely do that.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, and again, I mean, if there's a class of people, you know, that really get it. Now, I had a lady, Jerome, and I'll tell this story. I had a lady, and you know, she had a lawyer representing her in General Sessions Court, right? Now, I whooped that lawyer's butt in General Sessions Court. So she appealed it upstairs to Circuit Court. And she said that the lawyer was screwing her case up, so she's just going to take it over herself. So, you know, she in the courtroom, she's doing all those things. And, you know, I filed a motion for summary judgment, you know. And this was in the Rebelio's courtroom.
Okay.
I filed a motion for summary judgment, and Rebelio was just like, you know, she kind of was going left.
Right.
And she was annoyed with me because
Right.
I was, I'm
You were
like,
beating up on this process.
hey man,
Yes, you were beating up on the process.
and I'm gonna tell you this: if you're a pro se litigant and I'm on the other side, I'm coming at you with everything I got. Because here's how I think.
No mercy, huh?
No, I'm not gonna give many lawyers mercy. So I'm definitely not gonna give you none that's pro
got
se. And I'm gonna tell you, I truly believe this. If you're a pro se litigant and you beat me, I'm gonna stop practicing law. I am not gonna practice law anymore. There's no, I can't conceive a scenario where a pro se litigant beats me.
It's supposed to be beating you. All right, I got you.
Dude, I got too many tricks.
I understand.
I mean, I know the rules, man. I mean, so this is the reason why you should not represent yourself, no
Right.
matter how savvy you think you are.
Right.
There's people like me that are, man, they coming.
Right.
You know, I mean, and I kind of, I love the law.
Right. I love the law as well, Darryl.
I love the law, man.
Right.
And this is my craft.
This is it. This is
You know,
it.
and I'm a lawyer's lawyer. I
That's
don't
it.
represent just people. I represent lawyers.
That's right.
I gotta represent the judges, man.
That's right.
I mean, so I'm not man. I'm coming, man.
I got you, man.
You know,
I got you.
but I'm saying to you is, if you have no other choice but to represent yourself, ain't nothing you can do about that.
Right.
And you can't go to a lawyer and get advice about it, unfortunately. Because the law prevents a lawyer from helping you practice law without a license. So a lawyer can't train you or get you up to speed in a matter. You know, they can answer a question here and there.
That's right.
But they cannot teach you how to practice law.
That's right.
You know, a lot of times, in federal court, the first thing they'll say, they'll listen to a lot of the stuff, but then they'll say, hey, look, we're not going to keep doing this. You need to get the rules of federal rules of civil procedure, and you need to educate yourself.
Oh my goodness.
Because you got to, and the federal court is all on motion.
Right.
Man, I had a lady in federal court the same way. Representing herself. I called a lady up. I tried to talk to her. I tried to work this thing out with her. My client didn't owe her any money.
Well, you're required to try.
But I'm, trying to work it out
Right.
with her.
She didn't want to talk to you.
She didn't want to talk. So we were in front of folks, right? So she filed for a magistrate. and I can send it to it. I can, because it's a pro se litigant.
Right.
I don't want to be wasting my time.
That's right.
In regular,
in front of the big, in the big courthouse. Right?
Well,
I got you.
it's just gonna be, in a magistrate, and it's not the fact that I'm wasting my time.
Right.
The good thing about a magistrate judge is they have more ability to dedicate themselves to a particular case, because they don't have a trial docket as substantial as the regular judges.
Yeah.
They have a docket,
Right.
but it's nowhere near as substantial. And every judge, because think about it, you have 5 or 6 judges, and there's only 3 magistrates for the entire for all those judges. So that tells you that they're doing double the caseload because of the fact that the judge will refer motions to them,
Gotcha.
refer documents. And, but I told this lady, I said, look, I'll let you go for so far, but I'm going to file this motion and we're going to be out. And so we went to the magistrate.
Right.
So she gets mad at the magistrate and says, I want to go back to the regular judge. I'm like,
Right.
that ain't.
You just don't get. That's called that form shopping.
Yeah, I'm not
able to
doing
do
that.
Right.
But if you tell somebody what the rules are, or you try to tell them that you can't do that, then you either talking down to them in their opinion,
Right.
or you trying to not help them, and it's not your job
Right.
to help them.
Right.
So if you're a pro se litigant, they have in Shelby County, they have what they call a pro se litigant package
Oh, okay.
that they will actually. It helps you,
I was not aware of that. That's
It-
good. That's
it
good
helps
news.
you.
That's good news.
but it only helps you this much.
But that's
Yeah.
but that's good news though, Darryl, because I think in general sessions they have a
Hey.
place for them to be able to.
Right. And that's where the package comes from.
But it's two pro se litigants though in it. It's not necessarily even with the lawyers.
Yeah, it can be with a lawyer. I
Okay,
mean, because
okay.
Judge Henderson.
That's what I thought who started it. Judge Henderson.
And we talked to Judge Henderson.
Sure did. She sure did.
She had this mediation program.
Sure did.
And it's still in effect. And if you, and she got a 9 o'clock docket for mediations and
Right.
stuff. And they got people that do it for free and try to get cases resolved.
Right.
But if you two pro se people, they definitely want to do that.
Right.
Because they figure you gonna come in here, and I'm gonna throw you out of my courtroom.
And you're gonna take up a bunch of time, and I don't have time to try to instruct you on how to do that. So in other words, audience, it's available for you, but let that be your last option.
Right.
Is to try to come in and represent yourself, because it's like you're headed for disaster.
Oh, you are.
No question.
And then another thing that happens, Jerome, with this pro se scenario, the reason why it happens is people start lawyer shopping.
Right.
You go to a lawyer, and then you pay the lawyer. The lawyer's working your case. You don't like what the lawyer's doing. You don't like how they're doing it. They're not moving fast enough. They don't call you enough. So you're going to get rid of that lawyer. So you get so pissed off, you tell the lawyer, I don't want you no more, and they file a motion to withdraw, and then you try to find a new lawyer. 90% of the lawyers that are worth their weight in the practice will not accept a client that comes from another lawyer.
That's a hard thing. And you think when you come in, you start downing the other lawyer.
Yeah.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Yeah.
So be careful about that.
Yeah, and again, when people come into my office and well, so and so, I had them, and I said, hey, look, I don't really want to talk about that.
Right.
I mean, that's between you and them.
That's right.
But I'm saying in my mind,
Right.
as soon as this consultation goes, I'm not going to talk to you no more.
Daryl, in bankruptcy, we often see people come in who are dissatisfied for one reason or another. But in order for us to even talk to a person who's represented by another attorney, in fact, it's forbidden to do it.
It is, yeah, it is.
Without permission
From
the other attorney.
Right.
And so many times, because of the relationship that we have in this jurisdiction, all of us know each other, first of all.
Yeah. We'll pick the phone up and call somebody.
Yeah.
Say,
And say, hey, man, yeah, that's it.
Hey, man,
That's
your
it.
client just came in here.
That's exactly right.
You like, huh?
That's
Yeah,
exactly
dog. They ain't feeling you, man. They are asking me would I take over the case.
That's exactly right.
I'm letting you know I don't want no parts of this case. You know, because so lawyers withdraw cases for two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, you ain't paying.
Right.
And number two, you are so much a headache. I don't care how much this case is worth. It ain't worth being bothered with you.
Right. Right.
So if the lawyer has withdrawn or lawyer has gotten rid of the client, I automatically have in the back of my mind, that's a problem client.
That's true. That's
you
true.
know.
And you know, and we say in the street says, all money.
All money ain't good money.
Ain't good money.
Yeah,
Right?
all money ain't good money.
So, do I really need this headache? Not established lawyers like you and I are
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But I remember a time when I first started practicing.
Yeah.
You were so anxious to get clients until you just about took on some stuff sometime when you really shouldn't.
Yeah.
And that stuff follows you years
Yeah.
into your practice, doesn't it, Darren?
It does. So here's the funny part. At one point when I was working for Alicia, I would keep track of my wins and and so what ended up happening is, I used to do general sessions cases for like $250 because and Alicia had this, and I was in charge of her personal injury and medical mal and contracts and civil service. But what I did on the side was some of this general session stuff, and I did it at relatively cheap prices
Sure.
because I needed to get in front of a court and get practice and be comfortable with articulating to a judge and telling them what the rules are and all the other stuff. So, at one point, man, I was something like 90 something and old.
Oh, God.
Dog, I was sitting there, and I told you about Earl or Buckles.
What a confidence builder is that they're like 90 and old, huh? You said.
And then the first case I lost, and it's so funny, was against this guy Buckles.
Earl.
Earl used to be what they call a general session guy. All he did would be down there, and he would help people.
Yeah.
And, Earl was
he was a creditor's lawyer.
No, he was a great lawyer. Dude,
I liked Earl too.
I had a case, and I prepared for weeks on this case. I go down there, and Earl, Judge Donald.
Yeah.
Judge Donald said, well, you're not gonna beat up on this woman. But hold on a second. He got off the bench and went and got Earl Buckles.
Oh, really?
So Earl met with this lady in the hallway. I've never forgotten this.
You ain't forgot all this.
Man, I've never forget.
Earl left us a long time ago, Darren. You still remember?
Dude, that mug met with this lady for 30, 35, 40 seconds. Maybe 5 minutes.
Really?
5 minutes. Dude, he came in and proceeded to hand me my butt.
Oh, really?
And we were in there on an FED matter. And by the time we left, my client owed her, and he was putting this person out of the house. I was like, and so what I liked about Earl is Earl brought me to the side and he said, hey man, you gonna be all right.
You're gonna be all right, yeah.
He said, you got a lot of good stuff with you. He says, man, he says, but here's the problem. And I tell you this, I used to tell you.
He said all the time.
Here's the problem. You know these rules, but you can't beat a good lawyer with those rules. You got to know the exception to the rules.
Right.
And if you really want to get people, you need to know the exception to the exceptions to the rules.
Right.
And that's where if you practice in that realm, you win cases.
You win cases. Yeah.
And that's what he told. Man, when Earl told me that, man, dude. Man, my study, my work, my thought process, man, went on another level. I started reading cases all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, I gotta know
this. I gotta know this. Yeah.
I gotta know. I gotta
Right.
know.
Yeah.
I watch other people argue. I
Yeah.
mean, I listen to other trials.
Yeah.
I gotta know. I gotta figure this thing out. But if you're a pro se litigant, you got one case. You may have been in a court once, and now you're going to represent yourself. It's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad.
Because You know, again, it's nothing wrong with it. Because if you ain't got no choice, you have no choice.
Well, they're especially upstairs, especially when you leave general sessions.
Dude, upstairs, it's brutal.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah.
But if you are going to have an opportunity to represent yourself as a pro se litigant, general sessions is the place to do it.
It is.
Because you get a second bite at the
yeah.
apple.
Yeah, you get a freebie.
Yeah, you get a freebie.
You get a freebie.
That's right. When you figure out how terrible you
Right.
are
Yeah.
acting as a lawyer,
Yeah.
that may make you go out and get a real lawyer
When the judge
to
makes
save.
all them objections and,
Right.
you know.
Every time you open your mouth, objection, Your Honor, you can't hardly say anything, too, right?
you can't get it out.
Right.
You know, you say objection.
Yeah.
You know, what's the basis? Hearsay.
Yeah.
Counsel, then they say other side, what's your response?
What's your response to that?
Well, no. What's your legal response?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I just need to, you know, this guy, I got good information. Objection sustained.
Sustained.
You know.
Right.
You know.
And then, sir, when you hear the word objection, stop talking.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. Don't keep on talking.
Right.
Did you hear Mr. O'Neill's objection? You know, stuff like that. And so you leave out of there with your ego just absolutely shattered.
Yeah. And look, and the one thing that's good about what we're talking about here is, you know, every lawyer has a gazillion horror stories involving pro se litigants.
Yes.
Because at some point, they end up going to the Court of Appeals. They try to get to the Supreme Court. Now, I've never seen a case where the Supreme Court accepted a pro se litigant. This is because, you know.
But well, for one thing, it is absolutely very difficult because you have to have your paperwork in order.
Yeah.
You got to meet certain deadlines. Your briefs and stuff have to be done in such a way.
Yeah.
So you're right.
Yeah.
But I think I've seen one coming out of prison. They give them a little more leeway.
But they don't go to the Supreme. I mean, they don't go to the Supreme Court. I've never seen one of those to go to the.
You mean? Are you talking about to the Tennessee Supreme
Tennessee
Court?
Supreme Court.
I
definitely know it probably none at the U.S. Supreme Court.
I think there's one. I'll tell you about it. There's one that went.
Where he represented himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, was it a death penalty case?
No, it was he was sentenced, and I'll tell you about it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good case too, and I think it went all the way to
Did he win?
the U.S. He won, yeah.
Oh wow.
Some habeas corpus.
Oh, habeas corpus.
Yeah.
Because he
was being detained.
Then he must have lost at the Tennessee Supreme Court and then went to U.S.
Apparently
District.
so, yeah, because he was being detained, unreasonably? That's what habeas corpus is let me go or something to that effect, isn't it?
Or charge me.
Yeah.
You know, you
Right.
don't have proper charges to hold you here.
Right.
Now look, we've told you all of these different things, but here's the good news. They got a lot of places that will help you.
That's
They got
true.
a lot of places where you can answer and ask questions.
That's true.
You know,
1 minute.
Okay.
That's true.
So they have the Pro Se Litigant
True.
Clinic. They have the clinic over at the library.
True.
They have a Memphis Area Legal and a clinic down in General Sessions Court.
True.
They do, I think it's on Thursdays.
True.
And then there's a number of lawyers that do pro bono work.
True. Well, all of us were required to do some.
yeah.
You're required to do some.
So, all right, y'all. Well, we went through a long lot of stuff here. Look, hopefully you learned that if you're going to represent yourself, you need to be really on top of it. Again, thank you for watching the show. We'll see you next week. No, we won't see you next week. It's Good Friday.